Live from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 7.
Good morning. Straight up at 7 on this Monday morning, we have your latest stories. I'm Nicole Nalepa. We have been following developing news from Georgia now. Atlanta erupted into outrage after police shot and killed Rayshard Brooks Friday night. Now, the prosecutor handling the case is suggesting the officer who killed the 27-year-old could face felony murder charges. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Eva Zamaris has the latest developments.
Atlanta police were called to a Wendy's late Friday night after Rayshard Brooks fell asleep while in the drive-thru line.
Hey man, you're parked in the middle of the drive-thru line here.
After moving his car, the 27-year-old father of 4 tells police he doesn't remember blocking the lane. Eventually, officers give him a sobriety test.
Blah, 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 blah.
Police say Brooks failed that test, and when the officer tried to arrest him, a struggle began. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says this surveillance video shows Brooks taking off with an officer's taser. Just before now-fired officer Garrett Ralph fatally shoots him. His death has now been ruled a homicide.
2 minutes and 16 seconds before they even checked his pulse.
Ralph has been fired, and Brooks's widow wants him in jail.
I want them to deal with the same thing as if it was my husband who killed someone else.
Following his death, protests erupted in Atlanta, and the Wendy's was burned on Saturday. Nationwide demonstrations for police reform continued on Sunday, with more protests expected today. Eva Zamaris, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And back here in Connecticut, protesters in Bridgeport are camping outside the police department on Congress Street to demand change. They say they will not leave until the city council meets their demands of defunding the police, firing the police chief, and removing officers who have used excessive force. The fight is personal for one protester whose brother died in 2017 during a police-involved shooting in the city.
I think witnessing blatant murder from beginning to end on video, where there was nothing in the world that you can say to justify those actions, did something in every single person to say, I can no longer stay behind.
Protesters hope to see reform in public policy as well. In Middletown, the statue of Christopher Columbus has been moved from Harbor Park. Middletown's mayor says the statue is placed in storage ahead of maintenance at the park, which is set to begin next month. Now, this move comes a few weeks earlier than first planned, and this is in an attempt to prevent vandalism. The mayor has been talking to the statue's original sponsors and is now considering moving it to a privately owned location. Meantime, New London's mayor also ordered the Christopher Columbus statue in his city to be placed in storage. It was taken down yesterday morning. Earlier this month, vandals targeted this statue with red spray paint. The city council is going to have a special meeting tomorrow to discuss plans for the future. We turn now to the latest on the coronavirus here in Connecticut. We are just 2 days away from phase 2 of reopening, and state leaders are keeping a close eye on the numbers around Connecticut just to make sure everything stays on track. Nearly 100 new cases of the virus were just reported, and we also learned that 15 more people have died. Hospitalizations continue to drop. There are now just more than 200 people receiving care this morning. As long as the numbers continue to stay level, as we mentioned, phase 2 of reopening begins Wednesday. So that means restaurants can open for indoor dining, gyms will be reopening, nail salons, and even theme parks will open up. For a look at the state's reopening plan and a full list of what's included in phase 2, just head to the Channel 3 app. Also opening up, train service was scaled back at the beginning of the pandemic, but today you can expect more riders and more rides being added to Metro North as more people are heading back to work. Metro North Railroad is adding more trains on the New Haven, Harlem, and Hudson lines. Several trains will also be added in the morning and in the afternoon during peak periods. And you be assured that they'll be disinfecting the stations every 12 hours, and they'll also be disinfecting the trains every 24. Customers and employees are required to wear face masks, though, or any kind of covering at the times while they're on the trains and in the station. Also new this morning, police are investigating after a 27-year-old man was hurt in a shooting that took place last night on Brook Street. Police tell us the victim was alert and was able to speak with police. We'll continue to follow up on that story. Also, we're following a story for you in Shelton. Fire and hazmat crews continue to investigate a fire that took place over the weekend at the Vacant Star Pin Mill. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is now asking neighbors to give them a call if they find any kind of debris outside of their home from the fire. They're also asking folks not to touch anything because hazardous waste had been collected and stored inside the old factory. The building sits right along the Housatonic River, and it was built back in the 1870s. We also are learning this morning that a 19-year-old from SEYMOUR was killed in a shooting in the Bronx on Friday night. According to police, they say Tiana Johnson was killed and 3 others were hurt. Police are now searching for the suspects.
Normal high for the first time this year, 80 degrees. It is June 15th, 80 degrees. We're not going to get there today. We're going to be a couple of degrees cooler than that, but we're going to get pretty close. Typical overnight low 57. We didn't get to any records this morning, but we did tie a record yesterday when it got to 45 degrees at Bradley. 97 degrees is the record set back in 1988. That will certainly stand. 70 to 78 today, mostly sunny, very comfortable. We're talking about a lovely day of weather today. Just a couple of clouds forming a little bit later on this afternoon. Our Channel 3 early warning dual-pol radar scanning the state dry. Temperatures across the board. Lakeville, you were at 46 degrees this morning. 45, excuse me, 45. It got down to 45. Now you're up to 50. 54 in Waterbury, 57 in New Haven, and 58 at the Connecticut Science Center, which is close to normal, 58. 59 at Brainerd. You've got Danbury. You made it down to about 46 this morning. You've rebounded nicely. And those numbers will continue to climb while the dew points remain in check in the upper 40s and low 50s. The winds are out of the north-northeast, anywhere from 7 to 9. Not a big deal for the wind today. All right, so we are expecting some partial cloudiness as we move through the day today. Temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 70s for inland Connecticut. For the shoreline, there'll be a couple of degrees cooler with a mixture of clouds and sunshine later on this afternoon. But all in all, a really delightful day, and it's a delightful start. Windsor Locks, look at how beautiful that is with a temperature of 57. Torrington, good morning to you. Bright golden sunshine there. And according to our regional radar, not a lot going on. You got to go all the way to the south, like into the Carolinas, the Virginias and the Carolinas, to find some rain. It's a pretty good soaking rain there, but we are blocked by high pressure, so that's not going to be a problem. Let's take you hour by hour right through the day. 1 o'clock, good. 2 o'clock, good. 3 o'clock, good. Just a couple of clouds forming around 4 or 5. You might see some fair weather clouds out there. And then tonight, we're talking about clear skies, comfortable temperatures. It'll get cool again in the upper 40s and low to mid 50s. And then tomorrow is another gorgeous day with temperatures topping out close to 80 degrees tomorrow. So daytime highs today in the mid to upper 70s, partly to mostly sunny, dry and mild. And then your 7-day forecast includes 80 tomorrow, 82 on Wednesday, 87 on Thursday, all dry. Friday, 89. It does get a little bit more humid starting late Thursday and into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, Saturday, summer arrives. Don't forget, summer arrives on Saturday, and Father's Day is Sunday. And it's going to be a warm one for Dad as temperatures flirt with the 90-degree mark with that high humidity. We do run the risk for some scattered shower and thunderstorm activity Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon, the result of the heat and humidity, but not a washout by any means. All right, that's a check of your early warning forecast. I'm meteorologist Scott Haney in the Early Warning Forecast Center at Channel 3. Nicole, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Scott. Thank you so much for tuning in to Eyewitness News on this Monday morning. Remember, you can get all of your news and weather updates anytime on the Channel 3 app. Have a great day, everyone.